All right, let's see where we're at. Testing. Sound check. And I did not share the link either. But here we are. For March 6th, 2023. So just make sure that we're live here on my YouTube channel. Yeah, it looks that way. All right, cool. So we should be good. Let's see where we're at. That's interesting. The micro have taken a low at 10:30. E-mini did not. That's interesting. So we'll probably mark that up for today. If the market is bearish enough, we'll see if we can razzle dazzle our way to 33,350. Again, if we do end up being bearish, but I'm not too sure just yet. Well, what's good, everyone? It's 12 o'clock, 1 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be going live today and Friday at these times, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be a little bit later. What's good, Naruto? Omar from Egypt. Nicholas from Trinidad, I think. Erico from Portugal. Very nice. Really appreciate these sessions. Since the one go live is 4 a.m. my time and don't get to watch it live. I gotcha. Ali, what's good? Shit, man. Shit, dude. I tried to short this and it started to trade above that imbalance, so I ended up hopping out and then we ended up ripping ass. So it's always nice getting out before the big move. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. So the indices today, man, I don't know. We've gapped. And here's the thing too. So on the SPY chart, we're at a very interesting daily. I think we're at 50%, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, roughly 50, almost 618, kinda. And we're in between some gaps as well. So we had this gap up here and this other gap here. And I don't know, man. We gapped this morning and then we ran. And then now we've traded off of that. So, I am someone who does like to try and pick tops and bottoms in the marketplace. But I don't know how confident I am in looking for shorts today. The Dow, very similar story. Only difference is, though, is I think that run here was a lot cleaner on Dow, because we set up some nice lower highs and all three of those got ran. So I'm thinking from a larger term, I tried to say longer and larger at the same time. Longer term perspective, larger time frame perspective, I'm thinking that if the Dow ends up mollywopping lower, this may end up becoming a mitigation later on. You know what I mean? But just like Friday, you know, if the market's like super bullish and you try to short, you get your face ripped off. So but can you kind of see what I'm talking about here? Like, so look at these highs on Dow, like high, lower high, lower high. But at that time the S&P had a high, a higher high, and a higher high. So I figured this may end up becoming a mitigation imbalance short, but then we started trading like too close to this high. And I was like, nah, I got out with an L, and then we rip. So, you know, I tell you guys not to have like emotions and shit, but like, it's so annoying, dude. It's so annoying getting out before the move, you know? But it happens. It happens. Sometimes that risk management can do you right, and sometimes it'll make you miss moves, man. So there's that. But what's good, Willow? What's good, Andreas? We've already got the risk disclaimer up there, guys. You already know I'm not a licensed financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I really don't even recommend taking live trades either. You know, I try to name these what is it called, live futures analysis. So, you know, I'm not telling you to take trades or press buttons or anything like that. But if the Dow starts to rip, I mean, if it just starts to tear lower, I think 33,350 could be on the table for downside objective for today. The imbalance I have marked up currently is a little high up there. If this 15-minute candle ends up becoming a mitigation later on, right? Like if this thing starts to rip lower, the higher imbalance is up here, whereas this candle that we've just created has now potentially created a lower imbalance, and we have 33,500 as well. So it's a nice 500 level inside an imbalance, inside a mitigation with I mean, you could probably say higher time frame equal lows, I guess. Fuck, look at that 1 hour. And look, I'm sorry if my language offends you, okay? It's just, there's not too many times that I get to be myself, you know? And yes, I curse a lot. I've been doing it for a long time. I was in the military, that just made it worse. So, you know, if you're someone who doesn't like that, you may not like it here. And you know, if you got kids, you can let me know and I'll try to calm down, but I'm not gonna make any promises, okay? So there's that. But matter of fact, the Nasdaq, dude, the Nasdaq, I do like its sell-off, but what I don't like is when I was watching this earlier, if you compare all three indices together, the Nasdaq wasn't doing anything for a while. You know, the Dow, look at this from 10:30 to 11:15, right? 10:30 to 11:15, Dow was screaming higher. 10:30 to 11:10, or excuse me, 11:15, 11:20, the Nasdaq barely even moved, bro. And that to me is what signifies that this is manipulation. So if we've manipulated higher, okay, if we've manipulated stops, if we come back to mitigate and we've got some lows down in here, we may have a bearish afternoon. We may have a bearish afternoon. Does that make sense? Fractal high. And yeah, I can see something like that. What do you guys think? Yeah, if you guys are here, let me see. I don't know if this is on or not. Let me see. Yeah, go ahead and Oh, it's a subscribe button. There we go. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, guys. And if you plan on getting some value out of today's presentation, lesson, lecture, rant, whatever you want to call it, drop a like as well. Gets us on the algorithm, gets us in front of more people so more people can be on here, more people can get some more value. It's the middle of the day. We're at the beginning of the afternoon session. The indices have been doing some weird ass shit, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I am here for it. So the only issue for me is when you're trading the higher time frame, if you don't go down into a smaller time frame, your stop is larger, and that is something that I do not care for. I don't like large stops, you know what I mean? I like small stops. Let's go over some metals real quick, because I gave you guys some metals from last time that we talked, you know, we set like alerts and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to do that again, or keep them on your chart, if you want to do that, we do have equal highs for silver at 21,306. I don't think gold has that. Gold actually went higher, dropped lower, and they obviously look like they're selling off, but those are there, so we may revisit those at a later date. Let me see the dollar index. It might be the only problem, I think, in terms of disqualifying the indices for a potential sell-off. I mean, the relative strength is there, the imbalance is there, the move lower is there. I think the only thing that may or may not negate that idea is 104.09 for the dollar index, and if the dollar ends up ripping lower, then there is still a chance that the indices could continue higher. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see. But look at that sell-off we've got. Look how many consecutive candles lower we went for the indices. I mean, that's a pretty fat move lower. And then again, like I mentioned earlier, I do like these lows on the 15-minute for the Dow at 33,350. I think they're decent. You know what I mean? I think they're decent. So we'll see. Tweet out the stream, you'll share the link, and let's pack the stream out. Yeah, share the link. It would be greatly appreciated. I don't do all that much promotion. And, you know, this may or may not make me seem like an asshole, but I feel like if you know who I am and you want to be here, I feel like you're going to be here. You know what I mean? I mean, I share it on my Instagram. I shared it this weekend on my Twitter. You know, like, if you really want to be here, then you'll be here. But like, if you don't care, then, you know, you're not going to show up. And I've just never really been one of those type of people that, you know, promotes out the ass, you know, and does a lot of flyers and all that. I just never really was that way, you know. You know, given even me being, you know, in a network marketing company, it's like I'm still not the greatest marketer by far. So I diverged at the open, with Nasdaq being the only one taking the recent low before moving up, managed to catch a small move. I agree. No, I know what you're talking about, Omar. That was down in here, right? Like from 8 to 8:30. I think that was right here. 8:05 to 8:30, 8 to 8:30. I think the Dow is lower, the S&P is lower, and oh no, maybe I fucked that up. It might have been on a 1 minute. Okay, so it was with the not the micros, the E-mini, because what the fuck happened here? So 8:04 to 8:31, technically you have a higher low on the Dow, and ES, you had 803, 804, and then a lower low at 832. So that lower low on S&P, and then we came back. This looks like a kind of a shitty, but you know, okay mitigation. I mean, we got some up candles here, and that's just on a 1 minute. So it does come back into that, and then yeah, it took off from there. That wouldn't have been bad. I just didn't catch that though. I was a little bit late, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna trade that. And then of course it rips. So great. Let me see. What also is nice about sell-offs like this, let's keep on the micros for a minute, because the micros typically have the most gaps and like the most shittiest price action, but stuff like that. So you have a 15-minute down candle, you have a 15-minute, or it might have been a 5-minute imbalance. No, 15. Okay, so you have a 15-minute potential mitigation, a 15-minute imbalance there, and then all within that, when you go down to the 1 minute, you have a gap at like 33,505 and 33,506. So like a little, you know, extremely tight range. I mean, it's 1 point on the Dow, you know what I mean? So if it were me and I wanted to like study price per se, like if I had to leave and go somewhere and I was going to take a screenshot, I would do something like this, where I would screenshot, you know, this, but I would have a I think it's the path tool that lets you draw shit, the path. And so I'd go, all right, if we come up into here, I want to see us break down and, you know, do something like that. And like that, I would screenshot it just like this, save it, and then just leave it at that. And that's like essentially the idea as of right now. You know what I mean? And then if I had to go to work and all that, I would try not to monitor at work because I don't want to get in trouble for that. But I would be excited, and that would get me excited to be at work, because I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna find out, you know, if I was right or if I was wrong. I think if it was me, if I had a trade on, I'd probably be checking it at work. I'll be honest. But if it was just like paper or just studying per se, like you were like, okay, I'm not gonna take a trade, but I just want to see if I'm right or wrong, that would still be enough. I'd be like, all right, I'm excited. I'm gonna do my job, and then when I get home, I'm gonna see, you know, what happened. Was I right? Was I wrong? And then I don't know, shit like that just always made my day, man. Like in the Navy and stuff, like that's what I did. I did those types of things. So there's a lower imbalance here. And so a lot of the times I'll tell you, if there's two imbalances, because you can have more than one, like in my opinion, just based off the 15 with what we're looking at here in the afternoon session, this could easily be an imbalance, and then this could easily be one as well. So to me, if I was convicted, if I was like, look, man, if these were like beautiful equal lows, we got a divergence up in here, and I'm going, man, I just want to get the fuck in here, I would short the first one. However, in a day like this, I would do one of two things. I would either short the first one, okay, so something like that. Okay, price is not gonna go left, so I don't know how that happened, but okay, something like that would be the idea. Or if I was too afraid of the drawdown, I would divide it up, where I would take one there. Okay, I don't know why I deleted it. I probably could have kept it. And then I would put another one up here, and then have like that same idea where I still want it to go lower, right? but I would do one order at the first one and one more order at the second one. Since this is a divergence and a fractal high and we've got some up candles, I think my stop either way would go to the high of like that up candle there. Okay, and then of course targeting the lows, that's only a 1 to 2 on the first one, so we may have to stretch that target, or say, you know what, we'll take the 1 to 2, because if we end up getting filled at the second one with the same stop, that should give us a 1 to 3, and that's a 1 to 3.5. Okay, so if I had to just walk away, but I felt like maybe we get a fucking deep retracement, I would divide the orders up that way. Okay, so like for example, if my risk, let's just say, is 1% on every trade, I'd say, okay, the first one, that 1 to 2 on the first one, I'll take a 0.5% risk, and then if we happen to get up in that second one, I'll take another 0.5% risk. So if I'm wrong on both and this thing just flies up and stops me out on both trades, okay, I wouldn't want to lose more than like a max risk per trade, okay, because it's still one idea, right? We trade up and trade down, right? But if we don't do that, I'm wrong. So, but I don't want to be wrong twice. Okay, so does that make sense, chat? We'll leave that up here. Matter of fact, let's just leave both of them up there just for studying, guys. Please don't act like I'm giving you trade ideas, because that's not it. But I do want to study price. Okay, and then I'm just leaving them at the 3 o'clock mark as well, because I wouldn't really hold past the close anyway. Okay, now that's just the S&P. I haven't really looked at anything else. The Dow, let's just put an alert there in case we miss it. If it comes back up there but we're watching something else, then let's just put that there just in case. And then the NASDAQ really only has, I mean, it has 2 like the others, but not the I mean, we're already back in like the first one, which again, if you wanted to be in the trade, like if you just wanted to be in and like drawdown doesn't bother you and whatever, like that would be a short. But if it was me and I had to trade the NASDAQ, I would wait for 420. Not because it's a 420 level. Willow, that shit keeps popping up, man. 420 is fucking everywhere. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't do it on purpose, but it's a 20 level, just happens to be 420, but within the imbalance as well. And then a stop would probably be at this high, targeting the low from London, maybe even Sunday's low if it ended up ripping ass that much. But you know, I don't know, so we'll see. But again, I like the lows for the Dow. I think they're the ones that are the closest together. Okay, and that's what that looks like. So for a lot of you guys, that it's probably going to be US 30 or I don't even fucking know, probably something like that. And then the S&P, similar story, but just not exactly the same. So what we're gonna do for studying purposes is we're gonna have 2 different risk reward tools, one at 40.67 almost, and then one at 40.71 almost. Both stops at 40.79.5. And then we're gonna see if we end up getting a run below 40.40. Does that make sense? Just studying here, guys. I'm not telling you to do anything like that. Can you guys hear the music too? Does the dollar generally impact the indices? Well, it can. So the dollar, it's like a spider web, man. The financial market system entirely is all like a spider web. It's all interconnected, right? So one asset is going to have a degree to everything else. Like the dollar index, for example. The dollar index is probably the single most important analysis tool for everything. Okay, now, but you got to be careful though, because you can still have scenarios, and you can backtest this all you want, please do. Okay, you can have scenarios where the indices rally and the dollar index rallies as well. And so to me, that used to confuse me a lot, because I'm like, what the fuck? If the dollar's higher, the indices should be lower. But that's, you know, that's not true. Okay. Appreciate the sound check, Willow. Thank you. So in a general sense, a higher time frame sense, I think a strong bearish dollar, and then if you have in alignment with that a higher time frame bias on the indices, or even like equal highs, equal highs, or low resistant highs, or something like that on the indices, I think like that is good. But just trying to flip flop between, you know, just straight up shorting one because the other is this or that, I think is gonna rip your face off. You know what I mean? So let me just adjust this here real quick. We're gonna put this at 67 and 71. Okay, that's fine, because I'm just taking the imbalance and then adding like one tick, and then same thing here. I'm just taking the lower end of the imbalance, adding one tick. So I'm not including like the up candles or no shit like that. I just want to clarify that that's what those levels are for, and that's strictly based on the 15. So again, if it were me, just kind of like what we did with the Dow, I would likely screenshot something like that. And then if I got it wrong, of course, if I got home from work and I'm excited and price just did some shit like this, I'd be like, okay, well, what did I miss? And then I'd go and try and figure it out. Okay. But for now, that is something that I would screenshot from my journal. Like that. Boom. Just like that. Okay. Now, if we get price action, things start to pan out and we start to do more analysis, and we start looking at things, and it changes, right? Like we go, okay, well, you know, now we're bullish because of X, Y, and Z. Then that entire idea can be thrown out. So then like the screenshot that we have, it's like, okay, well, we don't need that anymore, because now we've made a case for bullish price action. So there's no reason to like keep that, you know? Wish I started trading in the Marines. I got out November 11th. Had a buddy at the time obsessed with Bitcoin, but none of us listened. Preferred the strip club. I didn't want to talk about that shit, man. Someone introduced me to Bitcoin in 2014. And I had like just bought my first stock. So this was prior to like, you know, a really big trade and all that. And I was like, Bitcoin, what the fuck? And at that time too, it had already went from like what, $50 to like 400. So someone like me, not really knowing anything about anything, especially price action, I would have went, dude, it went from 5 to 400. Like, I'm not fucking touching that, you know? Obviously not knowing at all that it would run to 60,000, you know, like you don't ever know that shit. Plus back then I was studying penny stocks, and so I saw a lot of shit like that. I saw a lot of shit that was like 10 cents up to $1, you know, and then almost every single time after that, it went from 10 cents to $1 or $2. It would lose 80%, you know, over the next number of weeks. So even if, you know, I was told about Bitcoin, I still didn't do anything with that. So that's just, it is what it is, man. But part of me believes now, like, if I was in my teens or early 20s, what I think I would have done, or like if I could do it over again, is I would just put like 50 or 100 bucks in a just bunch of different things. Like, so for example, realistically, if we went back to 2014, I'd put 50, 100 bucks in Bitcoin, 50 or 100 bucks into Litecoin. I don't know if that was around at that time, or, you know, just things that people talk about. I would just put a little bit just in case it happens to blow up, you know what I mean? But I did no research. Someone said, oh, Bitcoin, and then I was just like, oh, what is that? All right, whatever. And like, I didn't even bother Googling it. I didn't even bother doing any research on it. So I knew nothing about cryptocurrency or the future of nothing, AI, electric cars, none of that shit, bro. I was I was 19. I had just turned 20 years old, bro. Didn't even know what the stock market was. Didn't know what cryptocurrency was. Didn't know anything. But that's how it goes, man. That is how it goes. Divide risk to manage probabilities. Well, it's not probabilities per se, but it's just like, I've been in trades before, or I've been in ideas before where the first one hits, but I had an order up here, and I go, well, fuck. Price is left without me, and I'm not in. You know? So that's why, like, in some cases, I would divide it up like how you see here. I'm just trying to explain, like, that's how I felt about today. You know what I mean? What else what did we set and learn on? Dow, right? Okay. Yeah, we're just chilling for right now, because we've done nothing the last 30 minutes. Well, we're slightly lower from 12. So we have been slightly lower on Dow, slightly lower on S&P, and just like this morning, the Nasdaq has done. Look at this, it's fucking sideways, bro. Redonk. So anyways, make sure that what you have on here, okay? This is what I would do. Mark up 12, 2, and 3. This is Central Time, so if you're in New York, it's gonna be different, or if you're in another time zone, it's gonna be different. But I want to know the start, the afternoon session, the last hour especially, because we may or may not get some volatility that last hour. And then I would likely mark 8:30. That's our opening price. So imagine this morning, anyone who's been long, right? Okay, great. Because a lot of people were long this morning. I watched Twitter. There was even some people on that were live trading earlier today on YouTube. You know, even they were long. So it's like, okay, cool. If everyone's still long from this morning, then, you know, either stops are being pushed, or if they're still holding from like down in here or from the pre-market, this is the only low that is available right now. That's the only obvious distinctive low at 40.55. Okay, so if we get there, I feel like that's like, if we get close to that, I feel like that's gonna get smashed like immediately. And then depending on what we do, if we do get down there, then we can continue making that case for a 40.40. Again, depending on how we get into that low, if we do. So time will tell. We shall see. We shall see. So yeah, and this would be a decent screenshot as well, just to see the timing of everything, like the before and after of the timing of what actually happened. So I'll probably go ahead and screenshot that as well. So we are not going to be here from 2 to 3. We're not going to be here in the last hour. Okay. But what I'm telling you to do is to study what happens between right now. So it's 12:36. So right now, and then the close of the stock exchange. So you have about 2.5 hours, a little bit less than 2.5 hours. So then study what happens between now and then. So you see how we're gravitating towards 40.55. So imagine if you're long from down in here, you're clenching your ass cheeks going, I hope that we do not take this low, right? Oh, I want to be long. This thing should take off, right? So imagine for a second that you are long. You're not liking this. It's like creeping lower. It's creeping lower. Okay. The Dow continuing to trade lower. These might be equal lows actually from like way back when this morning. Those two right there. I mean, that's super small time frame, and I wouldn't expect the Dow to reverse per se from that. Kind of like with what we did on Friday. Y'all remember that shit on Friday? We looked at the S&P and we made the case like, oh, if we were long, you know, this would be a buy, and then price fucking ran from there. You know, that was cool to watch. That was cool to watch. I didn't trade that, just for sake of clarity. Okay, not trying to brag or anything like that. It's just we're watching price, we're studying, and it does some really cool shit sometimes. So that's just the case that I'm making there. But anyways, while we look at this, is there anything you guys want to talk about while we watch price? Mindset, psychology, stoicism, anything, or any questions that you guys have that are outside of trading? Hopefully we get over 40. We're creeping up there to 40 viewers. Hopefully we can get to a consistent 100 here pretty soon. That would be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So we'll see how it goes. No giving trades here, more like forward testing. Yeah. I was 19 at the time also. Mindset wasn't in the right spot. Well, you see, the thing is, a lot of young guys like I was, I mean, I don't consider myself old. My fucking lower back is old as fuck, but you know, everything else, it's like, you know, I don't want to comment too much on Andrew Tate, because we can get into this whole back and forth and whatever, and like I think he does offer a lot of decent advice. Not obviously not everything he says I agree with. I don't think anybody agrees 100% with anybody, but some of the things that he does say about men to become more manly, I think is absolutely true. I think men today are a lot softer than they used to be, and I think a lot of that comes from the school system. You know what I mean? And how the school system, they don't teach you things really about anything, and then they don't really teach you how to be men either, or they don't teach women how to be women either, you know? And I think that's why there's a really big disparity now. I mean, you see it on Twitter, you see like podcasts and stuff of these really trashy women, or just men who are just not men anymore, you know? And I like Jordan Peterson as well. Jordan Peterson, excuse me. He talks a lot about mindset and being a man and stuff like that. I agree with, again, not everything with what he says, but I do agree with a lot of what he talks about. So, but you know, and again, I don't want to keep going into the school system over and over again, but the school system doesn't teach men how to be men. They don't teach boys how to be or how to become men, right? We have, I think, gotten softer. And I say we, you know what I mean? I'm not the manliest man in the fucking world. I mean, I would never claim to be, and that would be, you know, that would just be retarded. But I do feel like I could have been better. I could have became a better man had I had better training, I think. You know, I think a lot of people in the military got lost in the sauce. I think some people think that being a provider is enough. Like, oh, I make money, I provide for my family. It's like, okay, well, that's good. That's a good thing. But it's like, what else though? Like, are you teaching your family skills? Are you leaving a legacy behind? You know, are you teaching them to not be easily offended? You know, like what else, man? What else? And I think that's where a lot of us fell off, man, because we never had discussions like that. You know, like we never had discussions about stoicism or stoic ideas, stoic philosophy. No one ever really mentioned Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Cicero, any of those guys, or any of the thought processes that they had. You know, nobody ever mentioned people like Jordan Peterson or any of these other guys. Andrew Tate blew up maybe a couple years ago, but 2014, 2015, I had no idea who he was. You know? And so I think a lot of the men had just the wrong idea about being what a fully well-rounded man should be, because providing alone is not enough to be well-rounded. You could provide for your family but still beat the fuck out of your wife. You know, I'm not trying to be funny, but it's just like, you could beat your children and still provide for them, but does that really make you a man? You know? So I don't know, man. I don't know. Doesn't seem right. So British Pound doing the same. We use information, and information uses us. The info we seek out often is for a purpose. For us to use the info we're given, school is to use us. Naruto going deep in the rabbit hole tonight or this evening, afternoon, whatever it is. How do I create better decision making quicker? Sometimes entering a trade happens very quick, and to make those quick decisions, what kind of things helped you with that? Well, the thing about good decision making is that good decision making is not always quick. Okay? Good decision making is not always quick. In order to make the best decision, the best informed decision, you got to do research, and you got to put in time and stuff like that. Now, this goes for anything: business, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development, whatever. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the markets, to make a well-informed decision fast is difficult. Okay? Now, if you know your criteria for a trade, and if it's your trade plan, it's in the right time window, you got the right risk reward, you've got your risk set up and all that, and you do it quickly, then, you know, you either decide to take the trade or you don't. But when it comes to like just hopping on the chart and expecting to make a decision, a good decision fast, I think is asking for a lot. You know what I mean? So hopefully that answers your question. It's difficult, and I don't recommend it. Good decision making takes time. Now, a run on liquidity might be pretty fast, which I think we're going to get here if we drop a little bit lower and start reaching for 40.55, because this thing has not been retracing all that much, and it looks like it just wants to demolish that low. Very similar story for the NASDAQ. Anyone who's been long, you're looking at this and they're going, hope it doesn't come down. Should have got out up here, but I'm gonna hold just in case. And then the rollover. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. But hopefully that answers your question, Mr. John. How am I feeling today, Lars? Dude, I'm feeling good, man. How are you feeling? I did take a little L earlier today up in here, which was pretty shitty. And because now I think we're gonna fucking rip. It makes the most sense to me. I think we're gonna rip, and me not being a part of it, that sometimes is irritating, but that's just part of the game. But everything else, I'm good. I had a good weekend. I ate like shit the last 3 days. You know, I had a good time. We went in the pool. We played I don't know what we played last night. Some card games. Had a cigar yesterday, a couple beers, you know, nothing too crazy, you know. We had some sliders on Friday night. I don't know what I can't remember what I had on Saturday night. Oh, I had street tacos on Saturday. I love street tacos, man. So Friday night was sliders, Saturday was street tacos, last night was dude, I don't remember what I had last night. I know I had beer and a cigar, but I don't remember. Oh no, that's right, it was ribs. My boy made ribs, some type of like Mexican corn, which I went back for like 3 times. Potato salad. I dumped barbecue sauce all over everything. I mean, I practically drank the barbecue sauce. So no visuals though. I don't have any visuals on that, but you can imagine that, hopefully. And then yeah, so good times, man. Good time with good people. So I'm feeling good, feeling blessed and grateful. If I had the right type of training and mindset, I'd be further along on this journey than where I am currently. It is what it is, but I'll be the one to teach the younger ones. I agree, Nicholas. That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I'm still writing my second book and going from there, because I want to give back as much as possible. And I explain that too, you know? So there's that. 4 a.m. call that I did yesterday. Usually the manipulation happens so quick. It's taking me a while to be more confident in making a decision in that aspect. Well, if it's manipulation that you're worried about and you're having a decision on, you know, either what that looks like or, you know, to see if there's a setup or anything, it might just come down to studying. It might just require a little bit more experience there. Would you say down could be a better short because it ran the high again 1.5 hours ago? I think they're both gonna rip. I think all 3 are gonna rip. I think the NASDAQ, remember we talked about this? Oh fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Remember we talked about this right here, that if we wanted to be in for the short, it would be right there. So that was it, man. That was it. This shit is gone. In my opinion, this shit is gone. 12 3 4 0 probably. I think NASDAQ is gonna rip that here. S&P I've had on my screen this whole time, and then Dow, similar story. There's the 830 low, and then just a few more points and we're at the equal lows, kinda at 33,350. So it just makes sense. We're coming up on 1 o'clock as well. We've been pretty consecutive lower though. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 down candles back to back for the Dow Jones on the 15-minute time frame, and the S&P really giving almost no retracements on the upside. So anyone who's been long has probably been ripping their fucking hair out, going just rally a little bit so I can get out. So I think, again, this is just, to me, in my opinion, this is gonna rip ass immediately. It's just been sustained lower. Now let's back up for a minute. Let's back up. If I was still short from up here, if I didn't bitch out, okay, at the high, all right, I would absolutely take partials at this blue line, like one or two ticks below that. I would take partials, and the rest of the afternoon I would hold to see if we get 40-40. Okay, But this low, I feel, is absolutely getting dominated. I think they're going to do it fast. I don't think it's going to be casual. It could be casual. Could be casual Monday. They could. But I just don't think it would do that. I think it's going to drop fast. Okay. Let's see. And there is a 1 minute imbalance right there, which price came into. A gap right there. So this, to me, it just seems like the next movement's gonna hit the wham bam thank you ma'am and hit the dirt. Feels like since Dow's the one who accumulated, would it be more possible to mitigate? Well, at this point, doesn't look that way. At this point, it doesn't look that way. And that's why I pulled up a 1 minute chart, because I want to see large down candles coming up. Maybe, maybe not. Oh shit, someone bought a bunch of new books. It's what I like to see. It's what I like to see, man. It was Marcus Cicero who basically said a room without books is like a body without a soul. Now, the original quote is actually slightly different, but that is what he implied. Someone came to his house and rearranged his books, and he basically was writing a letter to another friend, and he was like, yes, such and such reorganized my books, and now my house has a soul, you know? So implying that a house or a room without a soul, or without books, excuse me, is like a body without a soul. Basically saying reading is important. So Marcus Cicero, you know, I'm not really too far into his work. Guy was a politician and everything, and I have a couple things. Here's one. How to Run a Country, Marcus Cicero. It's very small, and actually half of it's in, I think, Latin, and the other half is in English. They do like one page, you know, one page English, one page. Oh no, that's the other one. This one is, the first half is English, the second half is Latin. So it's not bad, but it's actually very interesting though, because if you looked at today's politicians, they don't abide by none of this shit. They just do their own thing. Everybody wants money and power. And Marcus Cicero is, you know, he has a different opinion, man. Very different opinion. All right, so let's see if we get 40, 55, maybe even, you know, lower than that. Coming up on 12:55, so a few minutes before the opening of the new hour. Yeah, man, look at that. No, almost no retracements offered. So heavily bearish for the indices. There's your large, at least one large down candle for the Dow. The S&P has now met that morning's low, but we do not look at that as a support zone. See how fucking fast that was? You see how it just like kind of bounced a little bit and then shot down? So we went to 53 and a half. Okay, so we went to a point or two below that low, at least on that initial 1 minute time frame. You know what I mean? So like that to me, if I was short, which I'm not, but if I was, boom, I'm out right here. And I would hold the rest for the rest of this afternoon. So then now the question becomes, well, what happens if price comes up to these entries now? If we partialed out here, or maybe even that was your only target, what do you do if price comes back in here? Do you short like the original idea, or do you let it go and go, nah, fuck it? The 830 low is actually here, 845. Oh, okay. So slightly different timed on the lows for S&P and the NASDAQ. Slightly different, but that's still our morning session low for the NASDAQ. So to me, I want to see if that runs. If it doesn't, then that may end up being a divergence. I don't know. We'll see. And there's a little bit of a deeper run again below that low, but we did not tag the low from 830, at least on the micros. Only an intraday low for the mini and the micros is for the Dow. Okay. So what do you guys think? Y'all having fun or what? We didn't obviously get in to anything, but still watching it smack that low. But if you listen to what I told you, you get the storyline, you get the context of why should it take that low. So if you're ever in a short or a long and you're having trouble like holding on to it because you don't want your trade to come back to break even or hit your stop, and you don't know if it's going to take this high or not, do you get the exact reasoning why we picked this low and that this would be a partial if I had been short from up here? I just fucked that up. We still got the rest of the week. Tomorrow, actually, we got a lot of news this week too, so there's going to be that as well. So it is what it is, but it's only Monday. We got the rest of the week. But let me know if you guys are having fun. Let me know, man. And while you're at it, if you haven't done so already, hit the like and subscribe button as well, so you don't miss future content. Helps me get on the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate that. If you don't have me already on Instagram, just like at the bottom right of your screen and in the middle at John Fibonacci is my only Instagram. That is where I post a lot of stuff, stories and things like that, mostly, sometimes reels here and there. And I did record this earlier too, but as soon as we got up here, I was like, nah, I might take that high. I'll just cancel it, delete the recording, and then of course we get the rip. So no reel today, ladies and gents. No reel today. But Wednesday, I'll be sending out another email. I send emails every single Wednesday, roughly at 11. Sometimes I'm a little bit late. I gotta get them automated. That's on me. But I send out emails all the time about, whatever, ideas, personal development, bunch of shit. Based on ETF, seems like it could go further down to fill more gaps below. I would agree, because I looked at them earlier. Yes. So SPY is back in that morning gap. Well, we opened there, really. We did come down a little bit, but from the open to the close on Friday, we're in that. Dow, not the same, but similar. Price went into that, didn't really come back up into this, but did trade into that. Nasdaq, similar story, but not the same. It has not traded into the lower end of this gap. So again, we'll have to see. Look at the dollar rallying there. So put that on your chart as well. So let's do this real quick. Overlap the DXY. Okay, so you see how the dollar bottomed at like 11.15. I'll make this blue so it's different. Okay, so you see how the dollar has rallied from this low for whatever reason. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but that rally in the dollar, you see weakness on the indices. Okay, so when you have, again, the dollar lining up, which I have done no analysis on, but if you were for whatever reason bullish on the dollar from down there, and then you also saw like a divergence and a bearish indices, then yeah, I mean, fuck, dude, that's like, for me, that's a pull the trigger, you know. But I don't always look at the dollar. So I probably should, might incorporate that a little bit more, but I don't. So maybe I'll start doing more of that, so that way we have a little bit more complete analysis here on the YouTube channel. So, but yeah, it's not a bad hour though. Like if we had shorted that at 11:15, well, 2 hours almost from this original here. And that's kind of where I goofed up, man. See, sometimes, like I mentioned earlier, now we're getting almost 40 people on here, which is great. More people. So sometimes I will let the trade hit my stop, but sometimes if I'm wrong and I think I'm wrong, I'd rather take a half loss than a full loss. Now, the only problem with that is it'll do like what it did today, where I thought I was wrong, so I got out, but it never would have came to my stop and then ripped lower. So I would actually still be in that from 76 or 77. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, fuck. But hey, that's just what it is. But I would be confident that after taking partials here, that's like 22 points. Oh yeah, I'd say great. I'd probably walk away, to be honest. Go outside, do whatever, and then I would just hold whatever's left for the afternoon to see if we get that bearishness for the rest of the afternoon. I'd probably lock in my stop like 3 or 4 points just to lock that in, to know peace of mind. Hey, I don't have more risk on the table, and just leave. Is what I would probably do. Just makes the whole experience even better. Very nice, very nice. Cool. So, what do you guys think then? Let's just say we start getting a bull run here and price comes up to these levels. We'll take this off of here now because that's just going to get in the way. If price happens to come up here, what do you guys think? Keep the short on or take it out? What are your thoughts on that? Claiming Social Security too early. That's fucked. That is not good. Usually indicator for what normally? Erica, I'm not sure what your question is there. Would it depend on if we get a divergence? Well, to me, see, this is the problem when shit like this happens. So what I'm looking at here, you notice how we took partials on this? Like, hypothetically speaking, if I was in a trade, I would take partials, right? If I took partials on that, because we made a new low, but the other indices didn't. So we don't have a lower low on Dow, and we don't have a lower low on NASDAQ. So then now it can potentially make the case for a long, because one of them ran a low while the others didn't. So that to me would say, I don't know. Because look at this, we got a nice move higher, then we got a nice move lower. And we're in the last 2 hours of the day now. So expecting us to come all the way back up here and then expecting us to go all the way down here within the next 2 hours, that's asking for a lot. In my opinion, that's asking for a lot. Can price do that? It totally could. But to me, if it was up to me, I would want this thing to stay bearish. I mean, yeah, give it maybe a couple up candles and then just trade lower until the end of the day. So what's really going to be fun is between what we do right now and 2 o'clock. Because here's the thing. And if you guys, I don't even remember what the fuck we did on Friday. Mark this on your chart. Okay? Mark this on your chart. Go 2 to 3. This is Central Time, so again, whatever that is for you. Damn it. I don't know what color this is now. I gotta keep it all the same. What I were you, or if I were you, this is what I would do. Have 33,350 on your chart. Okay. Have this low here. And if we gravitate really close to this low in the last hour, watch like small time frame imbalances, 5 minute, maybe 2 minute, 1 minute, and see if it doesn't just demolish down. Like if there's going to be any scalping opportunities. Okay. Like I have no idea what price is going to do between now and then. I really don't. But I'm saying, like, if we just get whatever and then we start to gravitate here and then like a small rally, it should just demolish. Like something like that is what I'm saying. So study that on a small time frame if we don't take that prior to the 2 to 3 o'clock time period. Now, the only thing that would negate that is if we come up and then we kind of just bullshit around the last hour. Then if we don't even get close to that low and this thing just reverses and it goes higher instead, then that's likely not going to happen. Okay. But I'm saying watch what it does. If it gets, like, if it shows its willingness to go below these lows, any minor rally, to me, in my opinion, would just send this thing just fucking lower. Okay. Kind of like with what we were looking at in here. After this down candle printed, like this entire time within there, we were watching to see, okay, we should get big down candles lower, right? And what did we get? We got a rally into an imbalance and then it went straight low. A couple up candles here and there, that's fine. There's going to be some fluctuation, that's totally fine, and that's just how it is. But I'm saying one retracement and it just ripped. So like that's my point. You could see something like this, okay, in that last hour aiming for 33,350, and it could be the same for the S&P. Because if it's going to come down here to these lows, 40.40, then that last hour may finesse that. If it doesn't just turn on a dime right now and start fucking screaming higher. But to me, that's still an imbalance up here. You got a small gap right here as well. Right there, the small gap. So again, we shall see. We shall see. It depends on the timing. A lot of it depends on timing. Dude, timing is really important, especially for scalping, especially for the indices. Timing is like half the battle, man. Okay. Let me just back up there. Yeah, so my indicator, yes, it gives you the opening of the sessions, but that's, you can change the time. So you could change it to Asia, you could change it to London, New York for FX. I mean, you could change it to whatever you want because it's customizable. But I made it, well, I didn't make the first one. I didn't really make it at all. I had someone else make it. Someone else, one guy on Fiverr made the first one and another gentleman made the second one, because that's when I added New York. But these are all interchangeable, so you could take London, whatever, New York, whatever, and then the New York Stock Exchange, and that's what I have. Okay, so I don't have it, I don't think that's correct for London or New York. Okay, and the futures time frame is different as well. It's off by an hour, and I think that's because they close it for an hour. I don't know, I never really looked too much into it, but all I have plotted is the orange one, which is New York. Okay, the New York Stock Exchange. And so that's why if I turn this on, you'll see an orange line at 8:30. Whatever price at 8:30, that's going to be drawn out to the current price. And that's what that's for, right? So when I was looking to short up here, it's because we were way above the open. That's part of it. Not all of it, but that's part of it, right? So it's a reference point. Where's this low? Below New York open. That's why I mentioned earlier that that would be a good place to take partials, because this morning's low. You see kind of how everything is all interconnected? It's all together. It's just, I don't always have to have opening price there, and you know, I don't need to have 12 here. I already know, I'm looking at the clock, it's fucking 1 o'clock, so I know we're past 12. You know what I mean? Unless we wanted the session open, which would have been nice, the afternoon session open, like right at 12, right there. You know, we could have that if you wanted, make it orange. But given that we took that low, I'm not entirely confident that 40.67 may end up holding. Now, if I had my stop at 40.67, I'd be worried that that would be hit, because anyone who has been shorting, if they didn't take partials, okay, just reverse engineer what we talked about earlier. If we shorted this, okay, great. Where are the stops going to go? Probably above these highs. Okay, probably above, like stuff like that, and then the imbalance is only just above that, 40, 68, 70, something like that. So like, to me, I wouldn't be surprised. Give me a minute. I wouldn't be surprised if we took liquidity here, because the other indices didn't. If we end up massacring this high, then that may end up being a mitigation later. You see what I'm saying? Like, so the case could be made potentially that if we trade up, oh my god, what color is that? Right, if we jam past that high up to these, then come back to mitigate, then run that, like I could see some shit like that happening. You know what I mean? But I don't know. If it was up to me, which is not, but if it was, I would want to see a massacre lower. Matter of fact, let's set an alert there just in case we miss it, in case we're watching something else. We'll set an alert on Dow. S&P, we'll set an alert there as well, the lower one at least. And then I don't know. Well, I guess we'll might as well do all three then, just to see. Okay, so all I've done is set alerts at the lows that I'd like to see hit for today. So 40, really 40 for S&P. 32,350 for the Dow is what I would like to see. It just makes the most sense, man. No pun intended. Hasn't ran inner range liquidity yet. So Marius, it may not run inner range liquidity until it runs outer range liquidity, or external, whatever people call it. Inside, outside, small time frame, high time frame, whatever. Because sometimes you don't get it, man. That screenshot we took earlier, right? Of, well, you know, if we get a rally up into this, we'd short. Well, guess what? It never gave us that. It never gave us that. But it came for inner range liquidity from this low up to this high. That was an inner range liquidity low that was taken. But the other indices didn't do that. And on a higher time frame, slightly high, I mean 15 slightly higher, still an intraday time frame, but higher, at least in 1 minute, I'd still like to see these lows get mollywopped. If I long this low, I think I'd be a little bit worried. And I didn't buy that low. What's good, Mason? Mason Wolf in the house. What's good? You'd like to see, or Naruto says, I'd like to see downside liquidity taken. We got our divergence for the high of the day. I think the high of the day has been set. And the fact that I was shorting near the high of the day and I'm not in is really fucking annoying. But guess what? I gotta journal it, man. I gotta journal it. It happened again. You know, not like that, but you know what I mean. So, Mason and Willow are friends. Nice, very nice. Very nice. All right, let's give the indices a break for a minute. We've got those alerts there, so if they run without us, we won't miss it. I mean, we might, but it's cool. Let's take a look at gold and silver for just a moment. For just a moment. Okay, so look at this. Now, I personally don't really care for these, but I'll show you anyway. So on your gold chart, look at this. We have a high at 9:15 and a slightly lower high at 2 o'clock. So 9:15 and 2 o'clock. Y'all see that? That's why we mark these almost equal highs right there. Okay, so 9:15 and 2 o'clock. All right, this looks absolutely horrendous. 9:15, 2 o'clock. Okay, so here we have slightly, if you look at the bodies, they are slightly lower. If you look at gold, the body here at 9:15 and the body there at 1:30, 2 o'clock. Okay, the timing's like slightly off, but I don't fucking make the rules, man. I don't prick candles. But gold ran some previous highs, traded lower, rallied, traded lower, rallied up. And then if you look at it, okay, this is a 15-minute. But when these highs were cleared up here, okay, low, or excuse me, high, low, higher high, we ripped it, right? Traded back into it a little bit later. And I would be looking at those two down candles there. Boom. Price came into it. Now, if it was me personally, I'd be a little bit irritated at this, only because my impatience, you know, gets the best of me, but trades into that, and then again here, and then one more retracement before like the big move occurs. So that is a little frustrating sometimes. It is what it is, but that is a decent mitigation setup. So study that, right? That's what guys, that's what the fuck I'm trying to tell you to do, guys. Study this shit right here. Silver flat, gold higher, and gold is the one that mitigated before the big move down. Okay, study that. Okay, those like trades that are just bangers, okay, usually come from the mitigation, right? Well, silver had a little rebalance here, which is fine, and then similarly it's sold off, right? And then notice that too, that higher high right here on gold. Look at this, the higher high right there. It might be hard to see, but it's slightly higher at 9:30, 8:30 to 9:30. Silver 8:30. Oh fuck, that is higher. Oh, it was this one then. I'm tripping. 7:15 made a high, lower high at 9:45. Gold. See, this is why you got to make sure you're correct. There's a high at 7:15 and a higher high at 9:30. High at 7:15, lower high at 7:30. So okay, sorry, made a mistake, but corrected it. So there it is. A little bit more manipulation on gold before the rip. Okay, so these markets do similar things. They do the same things, okay, but slightly different times, slightly different assets, slightly different setups, but ultimately they do the same thing, man. They do the same thing. I could, if I don't print off every chart that I take a trade on, but if I did, if I compiled all of my best trades together, if I printed them off, but I cut out all the extra stuff, like you couldn't see the time. Well, I leave the time out there. That's a lie. I leave the time on there. But if I left off the price, if I left off the asset, so all you could see was timing and the candlesticks, I put money on it that you wouldn't even be able to tell what they were. Is he shorting gold? Is he shorting silver? Is he shorting the indices? What's going on? Matter of fact, I take the time off too, because you'd see the volatility 8:30 on the indices, so I'd take that off too. But I would just have all candlesticks, and I'm convinced that nobody would be able to tell the difference. Or if some people saw the difference, it wouldn't be everybody. That's how convinced I am, because it's all just price. It's all controlled. It's all manipulated. It's all the same. Hope we get a clean retracement. Oh, yikes. CAD looking juicy to take some highs, then run lower. CAD. Who trades that bullshit? USD CAD. USD CAD is... Look, I got nothing against Canadians. I don't. I just don't like Canadian dollar price action for the most part. I guess we took these lows during London, came back for some more lows. Makes sense. With doing very, very little analysis on a small time frame, I guess it looks okay. Are you in on that? 4 hour. Oh shit, 4 hour highs. Well, excuse me. This 4 hour looks like shit. What is this? Willow, what do you got me looking at, bro? Range bound. Range bound, dude. Oh my heavens. Willow, this is what you trade? This is what you trade, man. What is this? My guy, what is this? Bro, if I had to be a full-time trader trading USD CAD, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There'd be no way. Because I'd be looking at this going, what the fuck? What is this? Hey man, more power to you though. More power to you. You see, look, I know my limitations, man. I do. I know what I can do and I know what I cannot do. 100%. And USD CAD is whatever hair I have left would be ripped out immediately. Look at all this. I mean, there was some okay moves in here, but look at this consolidation. Oh, dude. Dude, if I look at this any longer, I'm going to throw up, man. I'm going to throw up. I mean, even the intraday was just... Dude, I'm going to cry looking at this chart. We gotta look away. Willow is banned from requesting assets to look at. You're done, Willow. You've been fucking banned. We got to go back to the nice, clean, beautiful, predictable indices, because my eyes started watering like I was cutting onions, dude. No one in here is cutting onions, man, but I'm about to cry looking at that. Looking at that fucking nonsense. My blue light glasses don't even prevent. You're done, man. I need a moderator. Willow, you're blocked. Oh, man. But in all seriousness, I would never tell someone not to trade something. If it works for you, it works for you. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Nicholas says GJ had a razzle dazzle 4-hour FU candle today. Qualities of consolidating market. They are going to take both sides. I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see. Heavy news this week. I've been more of a swing trader, not gonna lie. There's a nice daily candle. That hurts, bro. It's all good, man. I'm not gonna ban you. But USD CAD is banned from John Phibbs YouTube. Permanently. Perma banned. Loony. Oh, that reminds me, I do gotta check one thing real quick. Because when you buy stuff, sometimes they come with tracking shit. Oh, they haven't shipped it yet. All right, they haven't shipped my silver yet. I'm gonna be excited for that, man. I want to show you guys the silver. I could show you what I have already, but I want to show you the new shit. Matter of fact, I'll probably just bring out one of everything, and then I'll show you guys. It's pretty cool. Now, I'm not gonna make a bunch of videos on silver, dude. There's guys that have YouTube channels dedicated to nothing but talking about silver. I couldn't do that. I don't know how they do it. How do you talk about silver for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, every single video, and then have constantly new content? How the fuck do you do that? I can't. Hey guys, you know, my name's John. I got some silver. All right, that's the end of the video. Bye. You know what I mean? Like that, that would be it. Now I've got a really cool one. It's a fucking troll coin, dude. It's got a 3-headed hydra of Jerome Powell, Nancy Pelosi, and someone else. It's fucking dumb. Matter of fact, I want to see if I can find that. Oh man, I forgot what it's called. Let me see if they got it on this website. They might be sold out. Let me see. If I knew the name of it, that would be a lot better. Oh, you know what? I can just I can pull up on the website. That's right. That's the only reason I bought it too. It's called Inflation is Coming. All right, I can't click on it, but let me see if I can Google it. Okay, I found it. It looks kind of like shit. All right, here's a good one. Okay, can y'all see this? Yeah, you good. All right, so look at this. I have one of these. Okay, and it's like I said, it's a 3-headed Hydra. It might be Joe Biden. No. It's either Joe Biden or Jerome Powell, Nancy Pelosi, and then I think Dr. Fauci. And that's the flip side. It says inflation is coming. And then it's got these 3 assholes on the back of it. So look, I think this is really cool. I probably paid a decent premium for it too. Not like ridiculous amount, but I love it. And it looks way better in person than it does online. Like online photos do no justice. I mean, this thing looks crispy, clean, and shiny. It's awesome. But yeah, I don't even know how we got to this conversation, but there's your inflation is coming coin. So not a recommendation to buy, but just know that I have one. Just know that I have one. If I can remember, cause that's right, I forgot. So cause someone asked about my baby picture. So on let me see, I'll have to write this down. Tomorrow I'll show you guys the silver coin, even though I showed you what it looked like, and then I'll show you my baby pictures as well, like 1 or 2 of them, not obviously all of them. Indices are fucking around, but we're gonna find out pretty soon. So we gotta do the silver coin. Lol. The next one I got is actually an emoji one, which is really silly, but hey man, if you're gonna buy silver, you might as well buy the silver one that you want, you know. So we'll do the silver coin, and then we'll do the baby pictures as well. I know some of you were excited for that. Maybe not all of you. You're like, John, I'm not excited to see your fucking baby pictures, dude. Well, you're gonna see him anyway. You're gonna see him anyway. And we're gonna leave it at that. Indices since half a year, and it's clean as fuck. Dude, indices are amazing. Amazing. If I had to trade only Forex, I think I'd be okay. I think I'd be all right. But I am not nearly as good at Forex as I am with indices. I can tell you that. Plus, Forex has spreads, which don't even get me started, bro. Don't even get me started on spreads. I'd have to be a swing trader, because getting stopped out because of spread only to see the market go your way is just I get annoyed. Would you shine it every day? It sits in a box. Okay. Now, I want to show you guys a lot of things. I mean, if I showed you how much alcohol I had, you might judge me a little bit. So we may not do that, but I do want to show you some other things. So I have, and I recommend this too. Okay. If you have important documents, okay, important documents. So that's going to be social security card if you're in the States, birth certificates if you have those, I mean any type of paperwork. Okay, maybe you bought something, your what's it called, like when you buy a car, you get that blue thing to prove that you own the car. Oh, fuck it, whatever it is, all that important stuff, right? Paperwork. That should be, this is my opinion, this is where I have it. Title. Thank you, John. Obviously I'm not awake yet. Your title, car title. Okay, that type of stuff I believe should be in a fireproof safe. Fireproof safe. So if your house or apartment or your place, wherever you live, if it happens to burn down, your paperwork would still be there, you know. Or, not that I recommend, or not, I may recommend, I may not recommend, but if someone were to hypothetically have cash is made of paper, which can burn, okay, cash should also be in a place like a safe that is fireproof. Because in the event that that happens, you want to be able to have that stuff. You don't want to go, oh, my house burnt down and now I lost everything. You want to go, damn, my house burnt down, but I've got all my paperwork, I've got my cash, and I've got, well, silver probably wouldn't burn anyway. But that's why. So metals, weapons, ammo, paperwork, stuff that is highly sensitive information, I think should be in a fireproof safe. And that's why, for me, if I want to show you guys some things, I'd have to go get it. I'd have to go and unlock it and grab it and bring it over here and all that, which is not a long process, but it's just, I just don't feel like doing that right now. I don't feel like doing it. But yeah, I'll show you guys the silver coins and the baby pictures likely tomorrow. Which reminds me, we are going to have a special guest on Friday. If you guys did not see that already, if you go under the live tab right now on my channel, okay, if you go to the live tab on my channel, okay, we have a special guest, Ricky Lawyer, on Friday. Okay, so that's gonna be the 10th Friday this week, right? 12 p.m. for me, but that's 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, 1 p.m. EST. We're gonna have Ricky Lawyer on the channel. All right, so make sure you guys hit that button right, or you can't see it. Hit the that notify me button. Right, so that way when we start, you'll be notified and you won't miss it, so you don't have to watch the replay. Okay, so make sure you be there for that, because that's gonna be fun. Did the quality of the stream drop for anyone else as soon as you started talking about the coin? From what I've seen on my end, it says I have a good connection. I also have fiber optics, so theoretically we should never have an issue unless it's my PC, which I have upgraded the RAM. I did that the other day, so we shouldn't have issues. Okay, we shouldn't have issues. So we've taken this low on the S&P. We really haven't done a whole lot since then. The Dow slightly lower, still looks, it just looks weak. It looks like this just doesn't want to rally at all. NASDAQ, same thing. It's just been not doing anything, slightly lower, just looks weak. Weak sauce. Weak sauce. Weak, 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 weak. I just want to look at a couple more things real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm bearish for the rest of the afternoon. So there's my opinion. I'm gonna stick to my guns and consider us going lower. Oh man, what else are you guys looking at besides USD CAD? What else you guys got going on? And if you guys have any because you guys are all over the world. So if these are not good stream times, let me know. I may incorporate an evening stream, but you see, this is the thing, and this is why I have the schedule that I have. Okay, this schedule right here is nice. From like Monday and Friday at 12, it's the afternoon session, right? And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we won't have a full session, but we'll be on for a little bit, right? Because we get to watch live price. If we go in the evening time, all we have is hindsight. So I really won't be able to tell you like, oh, I'm bearish or bullish or XYZ, you know what I mean? And I think watching live price is a lot better than being able to say, yeah, well, look at this setup here, look what happened here, you know what I mean? I still think it's great. I learned in hindsight. Everyone pretty much learns in hindsight, obviously, but this to me is just being able to see it before it happens. I think is pretty beneficial. So now the timing of where you live is out of my control, so I have nothing to do with that. And that is unfortunate. So you guys say that it's a good time? That's good. Andreas lives in Belgium. It's in the evening, and it's perfect time for you as well. That's great. Well, I still stream in the evening time, my time, because my when I created my schedule, okay, years ago, over 2 years ago, when I created my streaming schedule, I wanted the evening time because I wanted people that had a job to be able to have something to look forward to, right? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, we got work, but when we get home, we get to watch John live, you know? So I kind of gave it that time of, okay, we got a 9 to 5, but he starts at 6, so that's enough time to get home and maybe, you know, grab dinner and we'll eat and watch, you know, the stream. Like that to me is like, that's what I'll do. You know what I mean? That was the reason for that. But I don't know anymore. And if you don't mind, I'm still going to be watching, but do a couple more things on Balloon's tower defense. Because we're not really getting a lot of action here. I think the last hour is going to give us some movement, though. Hopefully. But I'm not going to be here for the whole hour. We're probably going to hop off of here in like 5 or 10 minutes or so. And then it'll be up to you to watch it. If you want to, I mean, you know, it's totally up to you. But you guys have alerts, right? 4040 for S&P, 33,000. What did we say? 350 earlier? Yep, 32,350. Or if we end up trading higher into that gap and balance, that's gonna be 33,500. So we'll see. 12,275 for the Nasdaq. Silver, I don't think this is going to be today, obviously, but 21,306 still going to be up there for later, potentially. And I think that's it for now. And then we'll come back tomorrow, see what we got. Matter of fact, throw this on for New Zealand as well. Throw on 6130. We have some lows down in there that we may want to trade into this week. So just have that on your charts. In case we get down there, then boom, you'll be notified that we got there. So I may not necessarily trade New Zealand dollar, but I like it for shorts. I was looking for shorts earlier. I couldn't really find one. But on an overall basis, yeah, that 1 hour just, it looks bearish. We took some highs, breakdown, retracement, breakdown, and then to me it just looks like it wants to run for 6130. If you are long-term bullish on the dollar, that may help make the case for a bearish New Zealand. So I don't know, but that's what I'm watching for. Those are the alerts that I have. All right, so I will go ahead and cut it after the last question here in just a minute. I feel like with nothing happening right now, though, it's appropriate you building anything outside the realm of trading, real estate, e-commerce, etc. Well, I'm writing my next book. I'm also putting another, putting a couple different things together, actually. So I don't want to make any promises just yet, because if I say that I'm doing something, which I am doing, but if I say it, then I have to follow through on it. Because sometimes I like starting projects and then I won't do it anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm working on a couple things, but I don't want to say anything, because then if I do, I'll have to finish it. And that I don't want to do. Other than my second book, that I am going to finish. That I will publish likely this year. But as far as everything else, I don't want to say anything just yet. But great question, and I will have an update for you whenever things change. Yes, Nicholas, AUD interest rates tonight. We do have that. That will be fun. If you want to watch that for Australian dollar, I don't know what's going to happen. But we have a low at 67.06, and then we have some highs at 67.42. So that'll be in a few hours from now, and watch to see what happens there. I'm not bullish, I'm not bearish. I'm just outlining some liquidity there for some lows, or some highs here rather, and some lows down in here. So it could trade higher, even though I'm bearish a little bit longer term on New Zealand. But to make the case for Australian dollar, it could actually trade up into that. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I'll go ahead and cut it here. You guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you have a blessed evening as well, Willow. Naruto, you're welcome. Thanks for your time as well. Peace.